I'll teach you how to make your own cone wrench for adjusting the cones in your bicycle wheels. So this is the hub, this is the axle, hub, axle. This is the cone nut, this is the lock nut, this is the washer, and then this is the lock nut for the wheel so that you can place your bicycle wheels on the frame of your bicycle. So this is a typical all-in-one bicycle cone wrench. They call it all-in-one, but actually it's not complete because it on, if you can see the sizes, the 14, 16, and then 13, 15. So this is size 13 millimeters, 15 millimeters, 16, and then 14. Now this is made in China. It will work for a few days, but if you're maintaining several bicycles, this portion tends to wear off. As you can see, this portion is already not smooth anymore because of constant use. So I had to buy another one. Unfortunately, in time this will again be worn out, the edges of the wrench. Now, one way is to get the sizes you need. Actually, this goes up to 19 millimeters, but I need only these sizes. So you need 17, 18, 19 millimeters. So this is how thin it is. So what you do is get the size you want and then grind it with your angle grinder or bench grinder so that your wrench will have the same thickness of a cone wrench. See, they are not the same. You need to have a thin cone wrench because you have to be able to access this with your cone wrench, and then while holding it in place you have to wait a minute, it's noisy, so okay, now there's no more muffler. So you have to hold this with your cone wrench and then lock the position with your lock nut here. So if you use an ordinary wrench, you won't be able to do that. So you need to have a thin wrench to be able to hold the lock nut, the cone nut in place, and then you have to tighten this portion, this lock nut, with an ordinary wrench. So again, to imitate the size, you have to grind this so that you can have your own DIY cone wrench. You can, and then there are cone wrenches available like in Park Tools, but they are very expensive. Now the problem I have with this one is that sometimes I'm on the road and I want to adjust in the field the bicycle, but I don't have the size I want. Now the best thing to do is to make an adjustable cone wrench. You can buy, so I bought a cheap wrench, adjustable wrench, and then I will convert it into a cone wrench. So it's very easy to make an adjustable cone wrench. So instead of grinding 4 sets of wrenches to make them thin, you just grind an adjustable wrench and make the tips as thin as this one. So see, it's thick. The one on the left is thick, so you'll have to make it thin like the one on the right side. Okay, so now there are available thin wrenches. So this one is I've was able to locate this, but the next time I went to the hardware, it was already all sold out. So this can also serve, this is not a cone wrench, but it will serve the purpose, because if you can see, it's thin. The problem is this, is that if you look at the sizing, it's in English system, so 11/32, but most bicycle use the metric system, 13, 14, 15. So if you have this, you still have to grind it to size so that it will fit the cone. So to make your own adjustable cone wrench, all you have to do is grind your adjustable wrench and remove the shaded area. So I colored the thing I have to remove with my angle grinder color blue. I will have to remove that, and then after removing that, I will now have an adjustable cone wrench with this sizes already and up to 19. So you can easily adjust. So imagine this is thin already, so you can easily adjust the size and have an adjustable cone wrench. So instead of grinding several individual ordinary wrenches to make them thin like this, all you have to do is grind the tips of your adjustable wrench. So it will now, so imagine that the blue portion has been removed. So you can now insert that one, and you can have access to this nut with your ordinary wrench, because if it's thick, it won't work. But if it's thin already, with the blue portion removed or grinded off, you can insert your adjustable wrench, use it as a cone wrench, and then have access to this lock nut here. So I'll grind this and show you the finished product. By the way, instead of grinding an existing adjustable wrench, there are thin tip adjustable wrenches available in the internet, but they are very expensive. This one is it's generic, it's cheap, it's the cheapest one in the hardware, so it's only 175 pesos. The one I saw in the internet, if you go to Shopee or Lazada, it's about 3,000 pesos, just an adjustable wrench with a thin tip. So this is 175. All I have to do is grind the blue portion off, and I'll have an adjustable cone wrench already. I'll be able to save money, and I can make several and give it to my cycling buddies so that they'll have an adjustable wrench, or maybe charge them for the labor and cost of the, so I'll earn a little for my DIY effort. So the ordinary adjustable wrench is thick, so I had to make this thin so that it will be as thin as my cone wrench. So after removing the blue portion, the portion I marked with red pentel pen, it now looks like this. So this is now an adjustable cone wrench. This is an ordinary adjustable wrench. This is what I came up with. So I can now have different sizes. This is 16, 14, 15, 13 millimeters. So I imitated the thickness so that I can access this one, and then be able to adjust this portion with an ordinary wrench or an ordinary open end wrench, because if it's thick, then I won't be able to adjust this lock nut. It has to be thin so that I can adjust and lock this lock nut. So this is the hub or axle. So the cone wrench goes under, and then you adjust the lock nut with the ordinary wrench, because if they are both thick you won't be able to lock this, because this will be a hindrance to turning the lock nut. So since I made it thin and imitated the thickness of this cone wrench, I can now go under and then lock the lock nut on top and adjust the bearing inside the axle. So now, instead of buying a cone wrench with different sizes, or instead of grinding 13 millimeters individual wrenches, 13 to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, I now have an adjustable cone wrench, and I can have access to any size of cone because this is adjustable. I can make it large or make it small. Okay, I hope this video teaches you how to make an adjustable cone wrench. Okay, time for coffee. Oh yeah.